The acting chair recognizes herself for 5 minutes. Welcome. Um, Chairman Hill, I'm going to come and visit with you about my questions personally, as opposed to using this hearing time. My questions will be related to how you're addressing the toxic work environment that was present under the previous administration at the FDIC, if we're making progress with regard to the manner in which employees are being addressed and dealt with. So thank you for that. I'll see you when that time rolls around. So Vice Chair Bowman, welcome. As you know, this committee's been wrestling with market structure for digital assets for quite some time. And I want to focus for a minute on Section 401 of the bill, which lists digital asset-related activities that banks are permitted to engage in. So is it necessary that we have explicit authority for banks to engage in digital asset activities and have it in statute? Is that important, like for economic opportunities and safety and soundness?
I can tell you that in my experience at the Federal Reserve, that we had implemented under the previous vice chair requirements that hindered the ability for banks to engage in these kinds of activities. We've rescinded those under my leadership. So for the duration of that ability, it could be helpful, but I'd be happy to visit with you about that after I learn more about the draft.
Thank you. There are 3 states that authorize deposits in digital assets by banks, and there will be more if we can get this market structure legislation across the finish line. So I'll look forward to those conversations later. Now, Vice Chair Bowman, I want to turn to a Wall Street Journal report that you disciplined Federal Reserve Bank examiners after they engaged in unprofessional conduct. So I reviewed your job description, and it says you're responsible for managing the Division of Supervision and Regulation and its employees. So isn't it literally your job to ensure that bank examiners do their job in a professional and fair way under the law?
Yes.
Well, we learned during the last, thank you. We learned during the last administration that bank examiners have a lot of power, and they wield it. And they had guidance that stretched their ability to wield power. So I'm glad you recognize that not even bank examiners should be above the law. Now, I want to make some remarks, too, about the Federal Reserve's payment account proposal. I think Governor Waller has done a really good job balancing innovation with a safe, fast, and inexpensive payment system. And every time I talk about faster, cheaper, he adds safer, which I fully appreciate. And now I use all 3 terms when I talk about it: faster, cheaper, safer. So the Bank of England, European Central Bank, and Swiss National Bank, among other countries, have offered payment-only accounts. They offer them to eligible institutions, and they've done it for years. So for the U.S. to remain competitive in the payments space long-term, do we need the same type of structure?
Senator Lummis, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. I would want to defer to Governor Waller and the work that he's doing to address some of the issues that have been raised with the structure for how we consider applications for master accounts. I think the way that he's working to address this is through the introduction of a potential skinny account that, and he published an RFI, a request for information, for a number of different questions that we've raised to ensure that should an account of this nature be offered, that it consists of the appropriate safeguards and guardrails to allow for it to be a successful endeavor.
Well, and I want to acknowledge that if that we should do this, and we should do it quickly because we're in a race with other countries to be the digital asset capital of the world. And this is instrumental and important to that discussion. So I strongly support the Federal Reserve finalizing the payment account proposal, and I hope you do it as soon as possible. So I hope my colleagues on this committee will also support that. Thank you very much. The chair recognizes